so glad he's here. Thank you for coming in, really and truly. You know, just in the time I've spent with him, it's just so amazing to me. I understand where these students are coming from. And, you know, I was in acting classes in California, and I grew up in that, you know, in California, sort of grow up in that kind of stuff. I mean, I love the arts and spent a great deal of time in the arts. And the things that you did in class, it's true. I think anyone in the arts understands what the classroom is like, and you do a lot of things to get emotional because it's hard to break in. You're coming into a class for a short period of time, and then you're leaving the class, and within that short period of time, you've got to be able to do a lot emotionally to get inside of a part, right? Inside of the words that you're trying to say. And so I totally get the exercise that you were doing in class, and that isn't really up for debate because professors everywhere use it. University of Utah, everybody's using this. So that isn't the debate here. The debate is that a student can go and make a complaint about something done in class. This is not sexual harassment. Let's just say that for the books. Okay, because that rumor got spread by somebody at Dixie, and it's untrue. And so I want to say that they are lying. And when you hear that, it means they're lying to you, because this has nothing to do with sexual assault. Case in point, the Faculty Review Board reviewed this and exonerated Mr. Davenport, exonerated him. They would not have done so if this was sexual harassment. So when you hear that, the person telling you that is lying to you. Anyway, so here we have a complaint, one complaint in 15 years. Right. And all of a sudden, you're let go by the president. President Biff, is that his name, Biff? Biff Williams, has never met with you. Correct. He's never talked with you.
We have, I met him when he interviewed, but about this, no.
Yeah, about this. He's never once even asked, hey, by the way, I'm reviewing this, and I'd like to know from you. Even 5 minutes in his office. Right. Nice president. Wow, that's lovely and warm. Anyway, that's my thought, not yours. But I'm so angry that that can happen off of one complaint, where the Faculty Review Board, which is set in motion to help protect you by having this hearing, right, and protect the school, whatever, exonerated you.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, it's that exercise in self-government. This thing called tenure, which sometimes people say, well, that guarantees you a job forever. Right. No. It puts the burden on the faculty to govern their own. And nobody wants a bad professor. Sure. Especially the other professors who've been there and put the time in. They want to work with peers who are at the top of their game.
Sure.
And so it's not a good old boys club.
Right. And I get that, except that for the president to just overturn what the Faculty Review Board has just done in their own policies and procedures, they do this hearing, for them to exonerate you and for him to flip that over and not even talk to you and say, yep, you're gone. It's shocking, I think, to most people when they hear that. They're thinking, my gosh, I mean, most people even get to talk to a boss before they're fired. At least the boss tells them why. Yeah. And you didn't even get that. And here you have a very long career doing what you do, doing what you love to do. And you have so much support from so many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of students. And I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. You are robbed of your due process in that way. And if this is part of the policies and procedures for Dixie State, Dallas is right. How many other people has this happened to? Right. And if people have a vendetta out for you, which isn't your words, that's mine. Right. And because I would have to think something's happening somewhere where the president based what he did off of something, and and you don't even have the ability to correct even that, and you don't even know really what the game is, because you don't even know why he's deciding what he's deciding after they have exonerated you. Then this goes deeper.
Well, and it's an Old West kangaroo court.
Yes, absolutely. And this is your livelihood. This is your career, which you love. Yeah. And you love these kids.
And, you know, my primary goal is I love these kids. I love the kids who come to Dixie. And I don't know if I'm able to do this again. You know, if this stands, I just want to clear my name.
Well, I don't blame you.
You know?
I don't blame you. And you know what? It was cleared without exoneration.
Yeah.
I think the president has sought to soil it. But the faculty of your peers in the hearing exonerated you. Yeah. So your name has been cleared. It's just the president now of Dixie. And I know that you want some kind of amicable resolve here.
Yeah.
And you would love to just have maybe a meeting with the president, explain, and have him explain why he did what he did, so that you can get your job back. Because it's ridiculous that this is even happening. I don't even think you should have to undergo any of this. It's ridiculous, and I know you probably feel the same way.
Yeah, and you go back and question everything. Was there a step along the way I missed? Is there something I should have done?
Right.
And no.
And honestly, if they didn't like anything you were doing in class, anybody at any time could have spoken up.
Yeah.
Nobody did ever, because you've never had a complaint, and this is just par for the course. It's what a lot of the universities do when teaching the fine arts and teaching drama.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't have thought twice either. I mean, you're going along and you have this great career and you're doing what you do. And
as soon as this happened, one of the first things I did is call the Dean of Fine Arts, who had just retired.
Mm-hmm.
And I just asked him, I said, I've had this accusation. Are you aware of anything? Was there something that came across your desk that I'm not aware of? And what he told me is, well, everyone has little complaints, inconsequential things that are alleged.
Right.
But he said, no, Varlo, in all the time that you've been here, there has not been anything that merits investigation.
This is totally unfair, and I think Dixie State College needs to step up and explain. This is ridiculous, and I think you're gonna have this outpouring that's gonna continue, because people are really upset that this would happen. And who's it gonna happen to next? Hi, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Kate. Great show.
Thank
Just
you.
for you to have the courage to bring this to the public's attention. Our greatest fear is when things like this happen and nobody knows they're happening.
I agree.
And while I disagree with Dallas on a lot of issues, good for him for understanding that an investigation should be done into whether due process really was followed.
Absolutely.
I think it would be wise in the objective of fairness to invite Dixie State to come on or have a representative.
Absolutely.
If this were a private corporation, that would not be appropriate. But in as much as this is a beloved public institution, they have a responsibility to do it.
Absolutely.
But like so many other people, let me just say, Mr. Davenport has touched the lives of a lot of people in this town, and he made a significant difference in the life of my daughter and many other people. And so I think that has to be considered, whether the punishment was commensurate with whatever infraction occurred.
I absolutely agree. I agree with you, because most universities say that it has to be for two reasons in order to do what they did, and neither of those two reasons even apply. So I think so many are shocked because there wasn't anything there to do this decision on. I mean, there really truly wasn't. After being exonerated and his name cleared for something I think was rather silly on the complaint side, that doesn't have anything to do with the decision that was handed down. Doesn't that shock you?
Yes, and the whole purpose of exonerating someone is wiping the slate clean.
Absolutely.
And sending the message that whatever was accused did not have merit.
Yep.
At least in this type of thing. Now, if there was something else, she could sue Varlo personally as a civil matter, of course, or something like that. But in as far as I understand what an institution's responsibility is, when they put forth the effort to examine facts, and if it's found that the professor was not guilty of any wrongdoing, it does not make sense to then turn around and fire the individual.
I get it. And
maybe even a warning would be appropriate, right? Maybe some probation or something. Or even that would be a little
heavy-handed. Even that would have been heavy-handed, because this is acting class, and it's a method that they use in acting class, right?
Yeah.
So even that, but that would have been at the very least that they could have done. This is, just a firing? Are you kidding? And the president not even speaking with him? What is up with Williams? Is this going to be happening all the time? Does he want professors to be afraid for their jobs?
I don't know, but I do know one thing. The department and the school will miss Varlo if he is not reinstated. There's no question about that.
Absolutely. He's a very influential teacher over there. He's so good at what he does. And you could tell by the emotion that the students are calling in with that have been calling in from all over the country, by the way, and signing that petition in droves because they care about this man so much, and they've all been in his classes. What does that tell us? Do you know what I mean?
And it's a shock. That's probably the biggest thing.
Is that
we've all been around in organizations where somebody did something and was fired, and we all kind of look at each other and go, well, that's too bad, but it wasn't that big of a deal.
Right.
The shock of this is what's happening, too, and that speaks volumes to Varlo's reputation.
There was no evidence of misconduct. Not one shred of evidence of misconduct in this. So, yeah, I agree with you. Thank you. I'm shocked, too. Thank you. Appreciate your call. Hi, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm a former student of Varlo's and just kind of want to...
Oh, please. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
You're live. Go ahead.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, basically just, we were so surprised to hear any of this. All of the students, when we first heard, we all kind of contacted each other and just shared our surprise and our shock and obviously our frustration because Varlo has been so much more than just a professor to us. He's been, like a father figure, a mentor, a best friend, a hero to a lot of us. And to hear that something like this could happen to him really fired us up. We were all, I think, kind of personally offended.
I bet you were outraged. I would imagine shock and outrage.
Thank you.
So we're all. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We're all trying to do everything we can to get this turned around. But from what I understand, it is on a little bit of a timeline before the university can say we're sorry. There's nothing we can do. And we as students don't really know anything we can do either. But you mentioned the petition earlier, and I just want to remind people out there, if anyone's listening who is as far as we are, just even if you don't know Varlo personally, just the wrongdoing and the injustice and then the principle of it.
Absolutely.
There is a petition on change.org. I think if you just search Reinstate Varlo Davenport, it'll show up. We're only 55 signatures away from 1,000.
Awesome.
And it would mean a lot to all of us to reach that number.
Boy, that happened quick. I love it. I love that happened so quick. It takes 2 seconds to do, and it means the world to students all over and to Varlo. And, you've got Varlo quite emotional right now. I don't know how much he can speak right now, but I'm telling you, this means a lot. And this was wrong by the university. I'm sorry. This is just flat out wrong. And this has to be corrected. It just has to be corrected. So.
Yeah, but we feel exactly the same way.
Thank you. Thanks for calling in. I really appreciate you. I love the former students calling in. This is, what a tribute to you, Varlo. I don't know if you can speak right now, but what a tribute to you.
What I do is a privilege. It is. And, my kids say they're my kids with a capital K, but my students are my kids with a lowercase k. And every day I get to go to work, it's a privilege. So yeah, it gets to me. I guess it's not to be flip, but it's kind of like getting to go to your own funeral, and hear what they have to say about you.
But something you didn't want right now, because under the circumstances, it's like, I think that you know how they feel, because I think that you've had so much support over the years, and you've had so many students that have just been so impressed and love you so much that it'd be hard not to know that. And it must be really neat to be able to hear this from them right now, especially in this moment where you're even trying to figure out why in the world the president would do this, and how amazing that is that this would happen to you right now. And, it's just sad. I'm feeling for you, and this was wrong. Caller, you got, we took that too late. We'll be right back. Stay with us. More with Varlo when I return.